Oh man, I really want to be part of the superhero group. I mean, I've tried out a bunch of times for a few different ones and just never get the call back. But I know this time's going to be my time. It's going to be my time.
Okay. You need to just calm down.
I can't help it. I'm just so excited.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you wanna calm down, just chill out for a minute. What you should do is listen to the Pod Bros Network.
The Pod Bros Network.
Yeah, they've got tons of different podcasts. They've got stuff about video games, stuff about movies. They've even got Pencil and Ink Reviews, which is one about comic books, which is about superheroes, which is what you are.
Oh, there's a podcast I can be on, huh?
Sure. I mean, you'd have to chill out a bit, but okay.
Sweet. I'm going to download those right now.
All right. Sounds good.
So, what's your superpower, by the way?
Oh, me, I say sentences that are slightly homoerotic. I like penis.
Maybe we should just listen to the Pod Bros Network.
I like penis. What's up, everybody? I am Richard.
And I'm the one they call Sean.
Well, I think there's more than one of you that are called Sean. But we're speaking the language of bromance.
No, there can only be one.
You said quote from Highlander.
What's that? Only the greatest movie ever?
That was one of the greatest movies ever. I remember watching that movie and they were like, this is like Highlander. I'm like, oh, Highlander with Sean Connery. Sean Connery's in that movie.
Was that a movie before it was a TV show, or was it a TV show before it was a movie?
It was a movie before it was a TV show.
Okay. So sell me on the premise of Highlander. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of the TV show, but I've never actually seen the movie.
Okay. So here we go. We're going to delve into Highlander a bit. And for the record, this wasn't segued. This wasn't planned. This is all of a sudden we're talking about Highlander. But this is okay. So anyway, so Christopher Lambert is Connor McLeod, and he is a person who is he's an antique dealer in New York. But what people don't know is that secretly he is an immortal. He cannot be killed unless his head is cut off.
Like a vampire.
Like a vampire. So, him and all the other immortals are in New York, and they're there for what they call the gathering. And this is when there's only a few of them left, is they come together in New York, and they're going to, fight it out to see who's going to be the last one left. So Christopher Lambert shows up, and he's this Scottish warrior from the 1300s, and he does the thing with these immortals is they don't know that they're immortals until they're killed, and then they come back, and then it's like, hey, what? I should be dead. And in Connor's case, he was killed in battle by this really evil guy called the Kurgan, who's played by he's such a good actor. He was in this show on HBO called Carnival, and he played this minister.
Oh, okay, yeah. Carnival, it's such a good show.
That was a good show. Anyway, I'm getting off track. You're putting me off the rails. I don't like it. Anyway, so he finds out, holy shit, I should be dead, but I'm not. Goes back to the village that he's from, and everybody in the village is like, holy shit, this guy's a witch, and they run him out of town because he should be dead. So he's wandering around. He's got no place to go. He's got nothing. And then who shows up? Who shows up to save the day and train him in the art of being an immortal and what it means and what you have to do? Sean Connery. James Bond himself shows up.
What, is this an older Sean? What year did this movie come out?
83.
Okay, so it's 45-ish old Sean Connery.
I mean, he's gray in this movie.
That's a guy who last time I saw him, it looked like he hasn't aged any. Looks like he's still,
he bathes in the blood of virgins or something.
No, he actually is a Highlander, an immortal.
He is an immortal. He's Ramirez.
It was a documentary on him.
But the thing I love about one of the things I like about the movie is in the movie, Sean Connery is supposed to play this like guy that's like from Spain. Like his name is Ramirez, and like he's the Spanish, like he has these clothes, but he talks like he's fucking he's more Scottish than Christopher Lambert. and he's supposed to be from Spain. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine. I can forgive it because it's Sean Connery.
He just throws in some Vamonos every now and then. Vamonos.
So Sean Connery shows up and he's teaching the guys Connor McLeod is who Christopher Lambert's playing. So he teaches Connor all about like what it means to be an immortal. Like, they teach him how to sword fight because that's all they do is they sword fight. And even in the modern age of, technology and guns and whatever in the 80s, no, sword fights.
I see a trend with this, that this is a movie that you really
don't start with the
there's
swords.
sword fighting and you just jump
bitch.
right all
that?
over.
I hate your face so very much.
Continue.
So they do the sword fighting anyway. But one of the things with the immortals is when you cut off the another immortal's head, then you get his power and you get all his knowledge and experience. So it's like all these immortals like have all these, they learn on their own. They're people, but like they cut off each other's heads and then they get that person's, power, knowledge, skills, experience, and everything. And so they go to New York, like the last of them go to New York, and they're slowly like whittling each other down. And then you find out that the Kurgan, who was the guy that killed Connor in the very beginning of the movie, holy shit, he's an immortal too. And he shows up and kills Ramirez. Sean Connery dies in this movie
by getting his head cut off.
Yeah. So then the Kurgan shows up and he's got like this like punk rocker, this like punk kind of thing going on. It's like shaved head and like earrings and piercings and leather, and like he's staying in this like dirty like motel, and this girl comes in and she's like, "I'm Candy," and he's like, "But of course you are." Queen did the whole soundtrack to that movie, I might add.
Oh, did they just use Queen, or Queen actually like wrote and?
No, Queen actually like did all the songs. Like they made they created songs just for the movie. There was Princess of the Universe that was in there. Who Wants to Live Forever? That was like the like love song because he has like some love interests in the movie.
Yeah.
There was a song called "Gimme the Prize." I think that was the bad guy's evil theme.
Well, that's a rough go though. I mean, to live forever, because if you can't find a significant other that lives forever, then you're going to see all the loved ones die. That's always the sad thing they talk about with vampires.
Yeah, that happens in the movie. Like he stays with her, but she gets old and she eventually dies with one of his love interests in the movie.
Will you still love me tomorrow? No, Gert.
Well, because the movie's like set in the 80s, but it kind of like weaves in and out of like flashbacks of his life, of like how he became an immortal or found out he was an immortal, and how he gets trained. And
so is there only a set number of immortals, or do they like are new ones born into it?
No, there's a set number. And so when there's, in the 80s, apparently it gets to a small enough number, they have what's called the Gathering, and they all show up in New York at the same time, and they're all fighting it out and killing each other. And then at the end, the only two that are left are Connor and the Kurgan, and they have this giant big fight scene at the end of the movie, and spoilers, Connor wins.
So how does that lead into the TV series? Is the TV series just pre The Gathering, or is it?
I'm pretty sure because the because then there was a second movie, and I don't even want to talk about the second movie because the second movie was completely terrible, like very terrible. One of the it was honestly in the turn. I've seen bad movies. This was a movie I got done watching, and I was angry. I was angry that they made that movie in the first place. Don't watch Highlander 2. It's terrible. It's so if you watch the first one and you're like, hey, that actually wasn't half bad. Don't watch the second one because it will make you angry for watching it, and it will make you dislike the first one. It will make you hate. So bad.
It's like Jaws 3. It just ruins the first two for you.
Yeah, because it fucks with the whole thing. Like in the second one, they make them like they're aliens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then it's almost like they retcon it because then when you get to the third one, there's no mention of aliens or any of that bullshit. It's like, yeah, the Highlander 2, yeah, that didn't happen. Fuck that movie. The television show never mentions aliens or anything in the entire series. And that show had like 5 seasons, 6 seasons, at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, I just always remember it being on USA or something like that.
Okay, and that show was based around Connor's brother, Duncan MacLeod.
Oh, okay. Does the TV show all take place in old Scotland, or is it?
No, the TV show I think it's in France. It seems like he's in Paris mostly. But it flashes the television show usually he meets there's there's the bad guy for the episode who's an immortal, and then it always seems like he at some point met him earlier in his life, so it'll flash back to the 1800s and he's in the US on the frontier, or it flashes back to World War II and he's fighting the Germans or whatever. That's how the show went. It was usually bad guy shows up, they have a fight, and he barely gets out of it. They interweave a flashback sequence, and then at the end of the episode, another big fight, and guy dies, and he gets his power. And the way they when they cut off the other person's head, it's this big fucking lightning electric fucking light show.
Okay, yeah, I always remember the lightning stuff always seemed to get electrocuted.
Lightning shoots all over the place and things blow up, light bulbs blow up and windows break and shit like that.
Could you imagine living in that world where if you wanted to get better at things, you had to kill somebody and take their power and knowledge?
Wouldn't that be cool though? If you knew that you could, if you cut off somebody's head. I mean, I'm not advocating murder.
Obviously.
That would be poor of me.
Language of Bromance does not condone violence.
I'm not condoning violence, but if I could cut someone's head off and then gain all their knowledge and experience from their entire life lived, yeah.
You're I wonder what Sean's life's like. Stab.
Yeah.
Get struck by lightning. It's why are you always looking at these? Oh God, what's he doing with my picture? What's he doing with that lotion? No, I don't want it. I don't want it. Why is he crying?
I come out of it and I'm like, he had an awful lot of Ninja Turtle porn fantasy. I don't. Why is everybody gangbanging April? I don't understand. I guess she was the only girl, but it's not like she was smart fat.
There's other females in that universe, Sean. Come on.
Yeah, because there was I guess there wasn't.
I can't remember. There's another girl in there. Yeah, guess not.
So I may be into swords, but I will like to point out that your television show, yeah, guess what? Sausage Fest.
Well, at least it's all out on Front Street. They don't try to hide it with any innuendos with swords.
Whatever. Fuck that. Shows I was into had at least more than one girl. Like He-Man. He-Man, you had Teela, you had the Empress, you had Evelyn, and the Queen, and More than one is my point.
They recently started releasing, I guess, some new action figures from the comic Turtles.
Okay.
And I don't know how much you know about the original Turtles, but they had tails because turtles have tails.
Like, do they have, aren't there little, like, nubby tails?
Yeah, they're nubby tails.
Okay.
And so when you're looking at them from the front, it's like, what the hell is that? It looks like a dick. And they've just always been like that. And so they've been releasing these turtles, as like the original cartoon, or original comic turtle action figures. And everybody's throwing their hands up. It's like, what the fuck is this? These things have dicks. What the hell? And it's funny because I saw it. I'm like, I want one of those because that'd be awesome to have on your desk at work or something. Somebody comes up, it's like, oh, I see you got another. You sick son of a bitch, and just walk away.
Why do you have these 4 action figures with giant dongs swinging around? No, that's their tails. Sure, they are.
He's sitting there touching it, going, ee, ee. But so that kind of got me thinking. I saw another thing. I guess I don't know if it was fake or not, but M&Ms are coming out with pumpkin spice latte, like M&Ms.
Okay.
And I was just trying to think of like things that I've obsessed with, at any kind of age. Video games is always one of the first ones. I've been kind of reading a video game book recently too. And what has there been anything that you've obsessed with as a kid or as an adult that when it comes out, like you absolutely have to have it or at least know everything about it that isn't a movie or TV show, like an actual physical thing?
I mean, I would say Star Wars. Like, I remember when they announced Episode 1, like I was in high school and I was so excited. They had at school, they had, this was not pre-internet, but this is early internet. So I had to actually, I would go to school because school was the only place you could get a halfway decent internet connection. Something that could actually like render video in a, realistic amount of time. And I would go to school and I'd spend like an hour watching the trailer for Episode 1 over and over and over and over. I just watched it bit by bit, especially the 5 seconds where Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor do these like spin moves out of this room and they're cutting all these droids down with lightsabers. I was like, oh, look at that. Or the 2 seconds of film they show of Ewan McGregor fighting Darth Maul, like that fast lightsaber action. I was like, oh, look at all that. And I'm like bringing people over, like just random people walking around in the computer lab. I'm like, look at this.
All the young prepubescent males are getting excited. It's like, oh, Richard found some good porn. And it's just lightsabers.
I bought the Darth Maul lightsaber at the age of 17. Speaking of that, there's a good segue. Coming out soon, we're gonna get all the Force Awakens toys on what are they calling it? Force Friday. They're dropping all the merch
for the new movie.
Movie's not out till Christmas, and we're gonna get all the merchandise and stuff in September.
Yeah, I know they usually try to push that stuff out a couple months beforehand. So, like, what have they shown anything of this stuff yet? Are they, like the lightsabers or
a few things? They've shown some of the action figures. I'm sure you're going to get the action figures, some vehicles. I think at the D23 Expo, they showed off some of the figures. They have a Kylo Ren, which is the bad guy of the Darth Vader kind of guy that's going to be in the movie. And apparently in the story, they've been kind of drip feeding stuff about the story. Because that's the thing is nobody knows anything about the story, the actual story. We're getting like character names and we're getting somewhat of their motivations, but we're not getting the actual plot of the movie at all.
Which is awesome. I mean, there's so many shows where movies where that stuff leaks way too much, and This nobody seems to have a clue. You know Harrison Ford's in it. You know the original. You know the legacy.
Yeah, you know you're getting the original cast. You know that there's a new cast, but they're not. That's all you're getting story wise. But we're now getting some drip fed stuff. Apparently, Kylo Ren, who's the bad guy for the movie, he's the guy that you see with the lightsaber with the crossguard on it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Apparently he's this big like Darth Vader fanboy in the movie. He's like obsessed with Vader. Like he wants to be like Darth Vader. Because the thing is when you think about it, nobody aside from Luke and the Emperor who died, no one knows that Vader kind of switched back.
Yeah.
So according, as it stands, as far as everybody else knows in the galaxy, Darth Vader was like still, big badass Nubian god that, fucking turned on his lightsaber and force choked the shit out of you.
Yeah, the thing I read recently, they said the little tidbit they were giving is, it's like, so the Empire was the Nazis and everything collapsed. What would happen if some of them escaped to an island in Argentina, I think he said, and basically like built a club around, Darth Vader and that ideology.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're going for.
Which I think is awesome. That's so fucking, that's fucking cool. So Kylo Ren apparently is this Darth Vader fanboy. And then I'm sure at some point Luke's going to be like, that like he saved my life, right? I don't know if that whole like, hey, I'm evil thing. Yeah, he stopped doing that before he died.
He said we all should be friends, man. I mean, come on. He actually turned out to be a hippie. It's all good. Just spread the love.
That means we're like brothers. Brothers don't fight with lightsabers. Brothers hug.
Brothers force hug.
So all the merch is dropping on Force Friday. We're going to have toys. And I'm not going to lie, there's a fair chance I might go and pick some stuff up because I'm that kind of guy.
Are you still into getting some like action figures or like little trinket type stuff to, put on your desk?
Possibly. I mean, yeah, definitely to put, just to have on the desk. It is. I mean, I am one of those guys that has like little action figures on my desk. I have 2 figures, and they're both designed by Todd McFarlane. One is of Ozzy Osbourne, and another one is of Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie has this like alien Matrix kind of H.R. Geiger outfit on with like these little claw things, and Ozzy has like this big black flowing cape, and he's holding a cross in his hand.
Nice. It's always interesting stuff like that because I've got some turtles on my desk. Obviously, I've got a couple of bobblehead dolls of Shredder and Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't really serve any purpose besides just kind of aesthetically pleasing. At work, I've got a Leonardo and a Casey Jones on my desk, and it's just
now. Okay, so here's the thing, though: is that for you, or is that to help other people identify you as, hey, I'm into this shit?
I don't know. I would say it's probably half and half, maybe. Because my office, no one ever really comes into my. I say office. It's the spare room that Tiffany lets me do my podcast in. I've got like a shelf dedicated to with all my White Sox stuff, and I've got a shelf dedicated to kind of my comic turtle stuff. And I don't know. If somebody comes over, it's kind of cool to show it off. But I would say at home, it's probably more for me, because I like to look at, it's kind of nice to kind of look at those and reflect on the things you enjoy.
I agree. Although I will say, when I come over, the first time I came over to your house, that was that you beelined it, and you were like, "Look at this stuff. Look at it. Look, you're not looking. Don't blink. Stop blinking. Look at it."
You're like, it's stuff. No, it's not just stuff, Richard.
It's my stuff, and it's Ninja Turtle stuff.
It's everything.
You'll be sleeping in the Ninja Turtle sleeping bag tonight.
And if you get scared, here's the stuffed Leonardo. I took away the swords because I know how you are with swords.
God damn it.
But as a kid, it seems... I think that what I like about it is it kind of gets that kid, youth naiveness out. Because Because, like, I see something with baseball, it takes me back to when I was, like, 11 or 12. I see the Turtles, it takes me back to a simpler time.
Yeah.
But, I guess I'm at that age where, as a kid, you want all these cool things, but, you don't have money or your parents don't want you to get or won't pay for it for you.
Right.
And so now I don't know if it's one of those things at an older age, since it's like, well, I can spend $12 on that. It's only $12 or whatever. If that holds any value to that or not.
No, see, now, like, as you get older, this is the thing I figured out, is that you can buy cool stuff like toys and stuff like that, and you can buy it under the pretenses that your kids will use it.
Yeah.
Or your kids will like it. And then you just don't give it to them. And then you keep it for yourself. You're like, look at all this Star Wars stuff I got.
Oh, thanks, Dad. It's amazing. Well, don't fucking touch it. It's
Don't
not
touch
for you.
We're gonna put it on the shelf so you can look at it and be like, that's awesome.
Can we take it out of the box, Dad? No, of course not.
It's mint in box. Are you kidding me? What kind of boy did I raise?
I'm gonna put this a little bit higher. I see that look in your eye.
Stop it.
Walk in. He's got 2 chairs trying to climb up there, and you kick the chairs out of the way. Learn the lesson the hard way. Mom, Dad's on being a jerk again.
He's not letting me play with my toys. They're mint in box, babe. This is for him. I'm investing in his future.
That's funny.
He could sell them before he goes to college and help pay his tuition. Really? Oh God, no! We're not selling these. Are you kidding me?
Are you crazy? You sell them now, they're going to reach their value, in 20 or 30 more years.
Do I sell them then? Well, no, because it's sentimental value. It's from your childhood.
Yeah, you got to give it to your grandkids.
Well, where's the stuff that you had? Oh, I played with it and broke it. But I don't want that to happen to you, son.
Can I use my imagination, Dad? God, no, that's just a scary thought.
Let me tell you about some other people that used their imagination. His name was Hitler. He used his imagination, and look what happened. Dad, you took it to a dark place. Well, I'm known for that.
Mom, Dad's calling me Hitler again. Again?
So yeah, you buy toys for your kids, but then they're yours, and you still get them. It's a sneaky way to get them into the house. At the very least.
So are you talking like toy lightsabers or like Nerf guns? Like what's your go-to?
See all of the above.
Gotcha. Yeah, see, I'm still at the age, like, we'll be in the toy, like, there's probably a good period where I would go to the toy aisle every time in Walmart because they had like a turtle section now since the turtles are back.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time I would go in there, like, they had this ooze bottle. And I don't think it was anything more than something you would just sit on your desk. And every time I saw it, I'd pick it up and throw it in our cart, and Tiffany would throw it back out saying, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that, Sean? I'm like, I don't know. I can put one on my desk at home and put one on my desk at work, and it'd just be kind of cool. You don't need it. All right, I'll put it back.
It's for stress. Like a stress ball.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
I'm not totally sure if I'm gonna go and buy some of these new toys and stuff like that. I'm definitely going to be perusing. I'll go through the aisle. I'll pick up and like read all the boxes and shit like that, and like see what looks super cool. But I don't know if I'm gonna start shelling out because that shit gets expensive. I bought my son a Millennium Falcon for Christmas one year, and it was this ship was massive. I mean, this thing took up, I'd say it was like probably 18 inches. Well, no, bigger than that. The thing, if you set it on its engine, on its, thruster, like, the big thruster on the back, if you sat it on that, it was probably more than a foot, probably 2 feet tall.
Yeah, because I remember when you're like this thing was something you picked up with 2 hands, right? It was.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Thing was massive, and you could put your figures in it, and they could play around, and they had the they had the game board with the sabac table. They had the sabac table and the little holochess game that they played. Then you had the engine room, had all the weapons, and you pushed buttons and it made all the noises. It was awesome. I still have it. He's broken pieces off of it. This is why he's not allowed to touch it anymore.
But I mean, I hear people my age talk about how they had like the turtle blimp and like the turtle sewer, and all I had was the action figures. And I mean, that's more than some people probably had when they were kids, but that's first world problems.
I did have quite a few Ninja Turtles toys now that I'm thinking about it. I had the blimp and the van.
Yeah, and I never had any of those. And you think about it today, it's like that would have been cool stuff to have. And like what you're saying with your kid, yeah, it was a super expensive toy, but I'm sure he's paid that in full with all the times he's played with it. And probably all the times you've played with it too.
Yeah. There was, when I was a kid, there was a kid that lived across from my grandparents' house. And you went into his garage, and his garage had nothing but Star Wars toys. Like, and we're talking the old Kenner Star Wars toys, the original trilogy toys. So he even had the big AT-AT, the giant walker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was so cool. I opened up that door, and I was like, oh, look at all this stuff.
You just hear the ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
Wait, that's Superman. Give me a Star Wars tune that you heard when the garage door opened.
One thing about the Star Wars theme is I figured out how to play it on every single instrument I've ever touched. Whenever I am in front of a piano, or if I have a guitar, the first thing I start working on is the Star Wars theme. I'm like, how can I play the Star Wars theme on this?
Most people, it's like Mary had a little lamb. Nope, you're Star Wars.
No, Star Wars theme. There's a playground that the kids go to, and they have this thing where you, it's kind of like a piano. It has these little keys on it, and you push them, and they make sounds. And I was like, guys, come here, and they're like, oh God, what is it? And I'm like, do 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 do. And they're like, that's great, Dad. We're gonna go swing now.
All right, I'll be here playing.
I'm like, no, hang on. Boot, do, 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 do.
20 minutes later, you're like, kids, where'd you go?
Then some other mom comes up. My son would like to play with that keyboard. I'm busy. I'm recreating cinema magic here.
Go away, Darth Mom. She walks away, you're like, bitch.
Yeah, bitch, get your kid out of here, too.
No, officer, you don't understand. She interrupted me.
I was having a lovely time, and then this hoe bag showed up and interrupted it. I was having fun with my kids, weren't we, kids? We just wanted to swing, Dad. That's all we wanted.
Your kids are calling your wife. It's like, baby, is that you? Where's Dad? Mom, it happened again. Really? The police again? Yeah, he wouldn't let the little kid play on it? No. All right, well, I'll be down there in 20 minutes.
And then she has to do her best to convince the officer that I'm not all there. He's not well. It's untreated autism. I don't...
He's like, he's really into Star Wars. Oh, man, I love those original 3. Please don't. No. Don't bring up the original 3. What'd he say? Nothing, babe. Nothing. Just sit in the car. It'll be okay.
Go back to the keyboard. Okay. Babe, listen. Do, 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 do. That's nice, dear.
All right, we'll just let him off with a warning this time. That kid is back on the keyboard.
He bit me. Fucking deserved it. So anyway, Highlander.
Highlander. I know as a kid, you get obsessed with like all the cool like new technology. Because I know like Tamagotchi or those little pocket pets they had back in the day.
Yeah, I was around for those. The little animal pets that I don't. You'd see them. They'd be like next to the cash register. It was like those impulse buys. Like chocolate, they'd sit in this thing, and you'd pay, and you'd have this this digital pet that you would have to feed every so often, and it slept, and you could play with it and whatever. I actually hated those things. I thought they were dumb. I was busy flying around the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, we always got, like, whenever toys came out like that were really, really cool, when we got them, it was when, like, the Chinese knockoff versions came out.
Right.
Like the one I got for Christmas one year, because I wanted it for like 3 Christmases in a row. And so finally I got the knockoff version. And I think my grandma got it for me. She's like, no, it's really cool. It's got 30 pets instead of 3. I'm like, this is awesome. And so you're like, I want to raise a dragon. You're like, huh, that dragon kind of looks like a dog. Well, I'll just raise a dog. You go to a dog, and it's like, huh, that dog kind of looks like the dragon. What does the fish look like? Kind of looks like the dragon and the dog.
This is stupid.
Great marketing and great programming there.
When I was a kid, I did have the Star Wars Kenner action figures, and my mom threw them away. And it's something that I bring up at least once a year. Usually around Christmas time. It's usually, I had Star Wars action figures, but my mom threw them out.
I imagine you just roll out of bed one night and Amanda's like, what are you doing, honey? I got to call Mom. Oh, God. Yeah, Mom? Yeah. No, everything's not fine. Yeah, I was laying in bed.
I could have been anything. Because I believed in those action figures. I could have been Luke Skywalker, but now I can't. You know why? Because they're in the trash.
They're in the dumpster. They're in the trash field.
Just like my dreams.
I'm sorry, baby. No, sorry's not going to cut it.
Do you want new action figures? Maybe.
So what are we having for dinner on Sunday? All right, yeah, I'll be there. I love you too, Mom. Bye. Did you get it all out of your system, sweetie?
Maybe.
Hey, honey, guess what? I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Since we're both up. So are you still into kind of like, because the like turtley stuff that I collect, I'm not real big on the action figures. They have these, I think it's Funko is what the company's called.
Okay.
But they have like these mini looking like fake, the very cartoony looking like miniature creatures, like turtles and stuff that are really easy to kind of place around, keyboards or just on your desk in general. I mean, are you still more into the action figure stuff, or do you like kind of oddball stuff?
Not really so much action figures. Like I said, I kind of like the playset things. Those look cool. Like I said, with Richard's Millennium Falcon, I mean, you can fly that around and it has sound effects and stuff like that. And I mean, I have the added bonus of having kids, so I can play with them and no one looks at me odd. But I would say for me, myself, I don't really buy a lot of action figures and set them around. I don't have like a dedicated shelf for this is for my action figure collection. I wouldn't say I really have an action figure collection. I have, I have these two, and I have these two, and the other stuff I have is stuff I got when I bought the collector's editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So when you bought that movie, that it was that extended cut with all the special features and stuff like that. When you bought that, the first one came with a model of the Argonath, the 2 statues with their hands out.
Uh-huh.
So I have those, and then the other one came with a thing of a model of Minas Tirith.
Okay.
Like Return of the King.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's something kind of different.
They're really detailed models. the amount of detail that they put into just these models that they sold with a DVD, I was really impressed with.
Yeah, that stuff always is kind of cool whenever you get stuff with like a DVD purchase. Or I know like you're talking about recently the Fallout game, stuff that's kind of limited edition. I guess would be kind of a way to put it, or just something unique.
Oh yeah, I totally want to get a hold of a Pip-Boy. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Wear it, and then you could like put it on a little shelf. Have that in my weapons. That's what I have. Because that's the other thing. One thing I've noticed is when you get older, not only do you have more money to spend on things like that, but you have money to buy cooler stuff. But the downside of that is people know that, manufacturers know that, so then they make cool stuff and then sell it to you for an insane amount of money.
Well, I always think about you're at that point where I could buy that super awesome Nerf gun that I have wanted ever since I was 12, but I don't have any time to play with it.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm sad.
We just need to have an LOB army get together where it's pretty much like
we have a Nerf gun fight.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do instead of LARPing, we'll do like an LOB army one against the other.
Yes.
That's an idea right there.
It'd be like a draft. Like I'd have a team and you'd have a team.
All right, everybody at field day at 7 a.m. It's just me and you.
Aw.
I pick Richard. You're like, I pick Richard too.
Little dart sticks to the side of your face. I don't want to do this anymore. Then I shoot myself. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, murder-suicide.
I can't take this anymore. Thunk. Richard, no. Thunk. You're embarrassing yourself. Thunk. I guess this means I win. Thunk.
No, I think no one wins. In this scenario, everybody loses.
I'm kind of curious though if are we out of an action figure collection universe, or is that still a pretty big thing?
Oh no, it's totally a thing. Because you go to the toy section and there's still action figures around.
I mean, are there still people that go out there to collect these things just to keep and keep in the box? And
Absolutely. In fact, I would say that in some respects, especially in the case of something like Star Wars or something like that, I think that they cater to that market, maybe even more so than. I mean, of course they market it as hey, we're going to sell this to kids. We want kids to buy this. But I would say that when you look at things like the packaging and the descriptions and stuff on the, like you go to get an action figure and it's always got like the bio thing on the back and it shows you like the picture of the entire set of figures and stuff like that. I think that stuff caters to collectors because then they flip it over and they see, oh, this is one of a set of 12. I need to go get the other 11. Otherwise, I look like a complete and utter tool.
In the mirror, I'm going to look at when I get home.
Right. Like, I don't want to be that guy that has one action figure out of a set of 12. I'll be the laughing stock of my group. All my friends will come over, and they'll look, and they'll secretly judge me. They'll be like, yeah, that's a cool action figure, but it's only one of 12. I mean, where are the other fucking 11? Now I have to go get the other 11. I have a reputation to uphold.
It blows my mind, though, because, a lot of people, I think, do that because, I don't know, maybe not, but it always feels like they think they're going to, strike gold with those. If I keep them in the box, they'll be worth, twice what they are.
Oh, I totally, completely agree. Those people that buy it like it's an investment.
Yeah.
Those people aggravate the ever-loving shit out of me. The people that go and buy, those are the ones that rip toys out of kids' hands. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Those are the ones that will be at the toy store at 6 a.m. and walk in the door, grab every single of one kind of figure, and then walk out. And then, the 10-year-old kid comes in that wants that figure because it's his favorite character from a movie he fucking loves or a television show that he's in love with, and he can't have them because the douchebag bought 10 of the same figure, and he's going to keep all 10 of them in a sealed box in his storage room.
Well, you know that dude's logic too is basically like, well, the kid's just gonna play with it and ruin it. I'm preserving it. It's like you said, it's an investment. One day I'm gonna make some money off this.
Oh yeah, because then you're not even enjoying it as a collector. That's the thing. No. You're definitely not enjoying it the way a kid would. A kid's gonna open it up and play with it, and use his imagination with it, and he's gonna have sex with Barbie, and he's gonna run around with it on his head, and he's gonna all of a sudden, who knew that Darth Vader knew how to fly, but apparently he knows how to fly, and he's gonna fly around the fucking room. Like, that's awesome. Even the collector, to a degree, he's gonna take it and he's gonna put it in this case, and he's gonna put this case on his wall, and everybody's gonna walk past it and they're gonna be like, look at that, that's fucking awesome, look at all those characters. He loves this so much, he went out and found all these characters and put them up on his wall. Like, he's proud of it. That guy, that third guy, puts everything in a storage bin and then sits it off in a corner because in 20 years it's going to be worth an extra $20.
Well, has anybody ever struck gold with that? Because like you just said, it's going to be worth an extra $20. So, he spends $10 on 10 of those. Yeah, he's made $200. But over the time it took, like, it's not a good investment. You didn't make anything.
I totally agree. I don't know of anybody off the top of my head that has made this, windfall fortune off of fucking action figures. I can't think of anyone in particular. I think it'd be funny if the market kind of dropped out from under it, kind of like it did with comic books in the late 90s. In the late 90s, everybody was buying comic books to collect them. People were buying. I was a kid then. I bought comic books because I read them. I read the fuck out of everything. In like the mid 90s, the prices for things like number ones and stuff like that started to get, they were getting up there. If you got a number one issue of something and you managed to get like a signature or two on it, yeah, it was worth some cash. And it really wasn't that big an investment for the return you would get on it. I was 14, 15 years old. I had 2 or 3 comic books that were worth like $100 a piece. I felt like a small mogul at that age because I'm like, look at all these comic books, look at all this money. Yeah, in about I was late 90s. I want to say like 98, maybe 99. The market just dropped out from the whole industry. I don't know if it was because of a flood of reprints, because they reprinted a lot of issues and things like that. So the market just completely fell out. And so those comics that I had that were worth like $100 a piece, all of a sudden were worth cover price, if that, with some of them.
Well, I think a lot of it, I kind of think of that with maybe my generation a little bit, definitely the one before that. The reason all those toys are, if they're in mint condition, are so expensive is because there weren't that many, and there aren't that many out there in like cycle right now.
Right.
But you look at all those Star Wars toys they're coming out with now, there's going to be so many of those in the market that if you're not the only person saving 10. There's probably another, thousands of people saving 10 of those.
Yeah, exactly. And then in 20 years, when those 50 guys put out their 100 figures, guess what? It's oversaturation. Nobody's going to want to buy, your figure for $2,000 when they can go find it off of somebody on eBay or find it at a fucking yard sale for 50 cents.
Yeah, I think eBay's killed a lot of that too, because you want a number one comic, you can go to eBay and see what an actual price of it's going for, how many are out there.
I'm guilty of it too. I own The Death of Superman. I have a, copy of The Death of Superman that's still in its individual sealed bag that's never been read. But I will say I bought, in those cases, I bought 2. of those. I bought one to read and one to keep.
Is that comic worth anything right now, or?
I think it's worth a little bit. Nothing. I mean, under $100. I think even maybe under $50.
Well, I know when I started collecting comics, my thought was, maybe someday I can kind of get my money back if I want to, release sets or sell sets. But yeah, definitely I'm not going into that stuff thinking that, oh, this is my retirement fund here.
Oh, yeah. And some people did. I mean, I would say when it comes to comics now, comics that have signatures on them, I mean, some of those comics I have some I have a few that are signed by, artists and writers and stuff like that. And they're worth some money, but that's just because of the signature. They could have signed a Denny's dinner napkin and it might be worth the same amount of money as the comic. So, I mean, the falling out of and I thought, honestly, when I was I thought it was funny because I was 17, 18. I mean, I wasn't planning on these comics being my retirement fund. I mean, sure, of course I was a little salty that I had, an issue that went from being worth $100 to being worth $2.50. I mean, obviously. But
yeah, I look at it this way, though. I mean, I've got a Batman #1 from the reboot a few years ago that was an incentive that I didn't even realize I bought because I just kind of bought a group of them on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's worth like $80 or $90, and I'm not going to sell it, but I'm like, that's kind of cool. I've got a, quote unquote, a comic worth $80 or $90.
Right.
The whole Donatello dying in the recent comic books, I bought one of those incentives accidentally, and it's like going for $60 or $70.
Right.
I'm never going to sell it, but it's just kind of cool. It's like, hey, yeah, I've got a comic that's actually worth something.
Right. And I mean, let's say, 5 years down the road, all of a sudden the price drops down that and it goes from being worth 80 or 90 to being worth $2.50. I mean, that's not going to ruin your life like it would some people.
Well, and that happens. It's like, oh man, I should have sold it, but I know deep down I'm not going to sell it because I mean, it's sitting on my shelf right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna. It's not like you're gonna get rid of it. Fucking Batman, fucking Donatello. You love that shit. You're gonna keep it.
Yeah,
and you're gonna give it to your kids, not because you're like, oh, someday this is gonna be worth something. It's like, hey, you should read this. It's fucking cool. It's Batman.
Well, I'm gonna wait until they're old enough so they don't ruin the pages, so they know the white gloves go on, and you go slow. You put it back in the sleeve, and
get
it goes
the tongs
back in the airtight. Is that snot running down your nose?
And you make sure you put it in a bag with a board. If there's one thing I have to teach anybody about comic books is you put them in a bag with a fucking board on it. Board.
Why not?
Your bags. Don't be a savage.
Well, what I like about my comic shop is if you pre-order them or you basically have a pull list, they give that to you for free.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the place I used to go to, they did the same thing. I would say there was a bookstore in town that just had them on a rack, like a magazine rack. And so I had to go out and like buy my own bags and buy my own boards and do it myself because I'm not just going to have a box with a bunch of comics laying in them. No bags, no boards. That's not how I was raised, damn it.
Well, I always wonder, I mean, it seems like today the comics that are big are the ones that, like, if you got The Walking Dead #1, that's going to be a lot of money.
Sure.
But it doesn't seem like any kind of DC or anything like that, unless it's an incentive, which you're already going to be fronting a shit ton of money just to get it. Or like a limited edition action figure. That's where that comes in. It's like, oh, yeah, this is a one of 1,000, action figure, but you already got to spend $200 for it.
Right. I think when it comes to comic books, I think that the ones that are worth money are going to stay the same amount, and the ones that aren't worth money just aren't worth money. I don't think that the prices are going to fluctuate as crazy as they did 20 years ago. You're not going to have comics that are going to jump from $2.50 to $300, and you're not going to have comics that go from $300 to $2.50.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I think a lot of times, at least when I haven't really done it recently, but whenever I looked on eBay, the things that were going for a lot of money Well, when you had like the full sets, like there was a Captain America run recently that went from, up to like 30 issues.
Right.
If you had that whole set, you could get like $5 or $6 per issue.
Sure.
So you're getting a little bit more than cover price, but you're not retiring on that.
Right.
That investment.
But the thing of it is you're buying that for the set because you want the whole complete story. Like that's why I would buy it. I would opt for that and pay a little extra, not because I'm thinking, oh, this is, yes, I'm paying, more than cover price, but these are going to be worth something, or I can, resell this set for, a 20% profit. It's if I bought that, yeah, I'd be willing to pay the extra because I want the entire complete story set. One other thing, if we're gonna talk about something I think is funny, Superman #1. There is one person that I've heard that has because the comic books are graded in terms of condition. There is one person who apparently has a grade 1 Superman or Action Comics #1, the first appearance of Superman, Nicolas Cage. You know how much he paid for that book? $1 million.
What was the grade on that?
Apparently it was a grade 1. Like
okay.
it was a high. It was decent, very near mint condition.
Oh, so it was almost a grade 10 then, because I think 10.
Okay, yeah, I don't. Okay, yeah, I just showed my ignorance. I'm not sure how the grades go.
Didn't that just recently get stolen too?
I don't know. I heard he was trying to sell it a year ago because he was his fucking Nicolas Cage. Hey, the sequel to Gone in 60 Seconds fell through. Maybe I should sell this comic book. You gotta pay some bills.
I guess to bring it back around to Highlander, he's like, there can only be one.
And I have it. Does anybody want it? Does anybody want my knowledge and experience?
You want my knowledge and experiences? That's a fucking expensive comic. All right, what do you want to throw any Richard's closing thoughts out there?
At the end of the day, like don't buy action figures, don't buy comic books, don't buy that shit because you're like Sean said, because you're going to bank your retirement on it, or because you think this is going to be your windfall or shit like that. Just buy stuff that you like. Do what we do, like buy Ninja Turtles figures and put them next to your computer desk at work. Buy a replica or buy an action figure of a musical artist that you like, done by a artist that you like, and sit it next to your podcasting rig. Just buy cool shit because you like cool shit. Buy a comic because you want to read it. Buy an action figure because you want to play with it. And then tell your wife that you bought it for your kids. And then never let them touch it. You play with it. But make sure it gets played with.
All right, well, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher Radio.
Also, don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network.
You can collect all the Pod Bros podcasts there you want and keep them forever, because you know what? Those are only going to grow in value. Because why? It's the best podcast site on the internet.
They are. You can keep those. You can put them in a storage bin and set them in your mom's closet. And then 20 years down the road, be like, look, I've got these 2 yahoos that fucking talk about Star Wars. How much is this worth? I just got done listening to it, and I think you owe me $2.50. Damn it!
Where'd all those Language of Bromance recordings I have go? I had them up here. I threw those away years ago. They were starting to stink up the place. And if you need some new earbuds, go to tweakedaudio.com, use the promo code LOBARMY, and you'll get 33% off.
Yeah.
I actually just picked up some new ones. They've got new workout earbuds out. They're called He-Gons. I'm going to check those out. So those will be my new podcasting headphones.
Buy 2 pair and then put 1 pair in a box and then just leave it.
Because it's going to grow in value. All right. Well, anything else before I close her out?
No.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
Mint condition beaver.
Yeah. So take this episode and, just don't listen to it. Just, put it somewhere nice
No,
and neat.
listen to it.
Oh, listen to it. Well, they're already this far.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
God.